Mystic, where's the best team for yellow? Are you gonna do it?
Why, yes I am, and as a matter of fact, it is finally happening today after almost 4 months of not doing a best team. So I know a lot of you are probably shaking your heads and saying, Mystic, why make the best team for yellow? Isn't it literally the same exact version as red and blue's best team? Well, to a degree, I guess you're correct, but there are actually quite a few differences between red and blue in comparison to yellow. For one, Pikachu is your main starter. Blue chooses an Eevee as his starter. You can get all 3 of the Kanto starters, and some of the important characters in yellow have different teams of Pokemon. With these differences in mind, it was totally possible to make an entire new best team for anyone's yellow playthrough. If you guys are new to my best team series, let's get into what makes a best team. The best team consists of a team of 6 Pokemon that are considered to be the best for taking on the main story of that specified Pokemon game. They are best suited for taking on all the gym leaders, rivals, Elite Four, Champion, and Evil teams. I should also mention that Blue has the ability to evolve as Eevee in any of the 3 Kanto evolutions, depending on what battles you've completed against Blue. Assuming the player will be battling the rival all the times, we're going to have his Eevee evolve into Jolteon. So we're going to build the team revolving around Jolteon as well. The purpose of this team is to make the player's Pokemon experience an easy but fun-filled one. There are also other conditions I take into consideration too, such as no egg moves or move tutor moves, but since those don't exist in Generation 1, we don't have to worry about that. The Pokemon I have chosen all fit the criteria I mentioned earlier and are in my opinion the best team of 6 Pokemon for taking on Pokemon Yellow. In choosing these Pokemon, I have also provided them with movesets based off of the coverages they need and just some moves that may come in handy in the long run. With all that being said though, since you guys know what I look for in a best team and how it performs, let's hop right into our adventure. Like all best teams, we need to start a Pokemon, and the Pokemon of choice is of course going to be the main Pokemon mascot and the cover Pokemon of Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu. Pikachu may not be the best Pokemon, but in Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu has to be your starter. You're literally stuck with Pikachu for the entirety of your journey. This was Game Freak's version of relating the player to Ash Ketchum and his Pikachu. The relation is so close in fact that the player can't even evolve their Pikachu into Raichu. To be honest though, the Pikachu you receive is actually very powerful. I'm not sure if it's because it's holding the light ball in the later gens, or if it's the fact that Pokemon Yellow Pikachu is just naturally stronger. I'm not sure, so educate me. Regardless though, this is your starter, and it's actually pretty decent for the weak electric rodent. Since Pikachu isn't really a choice, there isn't much I can really say about it, so let's just dive right into the moveset. Starting off, Pikachu gets Thunder Shock. Keep this until it gets Thunder Bolt at level 26. The next move I suggest is Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave can paralyze an opponent and can half its speed, plus there's also the chance it won't be able to move. It's just one of those moves that may come in handy. Double Team is the third move I recommend, due to Pikachu being very frail. If Pikachu can pull off at least 2 double teams, the odds of it being hit are pretty slim. The evasion increase will help a lot in case of emergencies. The last move I say to use is Body Slam. Body Slam can be found on the SSN. Body Slam is basically a last filler slot for Pikachu. It's there for filler, it's a decent physical attack, and it does not take recoil. Plus it has the chance to make the opponent paralyzed, so I think it works well as the last slot. Pikachu does well against Misty, most of Lorelei's team, Agatha's Golbat, Lance's Gyarados and Aerodactyl, and Blue's Cloyster and Fearow. The next slot on our team isn't a permanent slot, as it will only be used for one important battle against Brock. Literally after you beat Brock, get past Mount Moon, and pick up our second team member, you can discard Mankey to the PC box or even release it. The second Pokemon on our team comes right out of Mount Moon being Geodude, and then later on evolving into Gollum. So I'm just going to say that a ground type Pokemon isn't the most important Pokemon on our team, but we need it in order to take on electric types. Dugtrio could have been an option too, I guess, but I wanted more defense, that's why I picked Gollum. So the main difference between Gollum and Dugtrio is Gollum's Stab Rock typing can help out against all those Golbats that are located everywhere in Kanto. Not to mention, Graveler can also be evolved into Gollum right after evolving Geodude. Graveler has the same level up moveset as Gollum, so evolving it right when you get it isn't a problem at all. Geodude evolves into Graveler at level 25, so a final stage Pokemon at level 25 is very good. Now I'm aware that Graveler is a trade Pokemon, and that's fine, because of Virtual Console now being a thing, trade evolution becomes a lot easier. However, if you do have a physical cartridge of the game, then more than likely you're out of luck. ROMs, well, I don't want to give a tutorial on that part, so just Google it. It's honestly your best friend. Regardless though, if you don't want to go through the trouble of evolving Graveler, then just capture Diglett and evolve it in the Dugtrio. It's still a great ground Pokemon. Like I said earlier, I only chose Gollum because I preferred having more defense on our team. Gollum's moveset, in my opinion, is probably one of the best movesets I could have made on our team, because unlike some of the other team members, Gollum has a lot more diversity. So there are a lot more options for Gollum in this case. The moves I picked for Gollum are Rock Slide, Earthquake, Explosion, and Counter. Earlier moves I would consider obviously being Rock Throw and Dig. Dig can be found in Cerulean City after you take out the rocket grunt who broke into the house, and Rock Slide can be found at the top of the Celadon City department store after giving a soda pop to an NPC. Counter can also be found in the Celadon department store after talking to the NPC behind the counter on the 3rd floor. The rock moves and ground moves are obviously there for stab and are the most powerful moves Gollum can learn. Explosion and Counter are there for different situations. Explosion can just be used to make a huge dent in an opponent's HP when there are no options left. Counter can be used because of Gollum's slow speed. It can take an opponent's physical attack and counter it back, doing double the damage. So it comes in handy with Gollum's high defense and slow speed. Gollum is great against Lieutenant Surge, Koga, Blaine, Giovanni's Poison types and Rhydon, Bruno's Onyx, Agatha's team, Lance's Aerodactyl and Dragonite, and Blue's Jolteon and Ninetales. Pokemon Yellow allowed the players to have access to all 3 Kanto starters, and funny enough, a starter made the team. I think all the Gen 1ers are going to be happy after hearing this one. Yep. God, Charizard made the team. I can't believe it myself. Shocks me even now. Charmander can be found by a trainer on Route 24. Simply talk to him and he will give you Charmander. The reason Charizard made the team was due to the fact we needed a flyer. Generation 1 does not have a very good selection of flying Pokemon, and to be honest, we don't really need a flying type, we only need a Pokemon for the HM Fly. Charizard can use Fly in Pokemon Yellow, and to be honest, I think it's the best flyer we can get. It also has access to an arsenal of attacks that other flyers don't have access to, along with its fire attacks such as Flamethrower. Charizard is the best flyer for Pokemon Yellow, unless you want to count the legendary birds, but because I don't like using legendaries on any of my best teams, we aren't going to do that. Charizard's moveset, if any, is actually really common. I've actually seen other people use it before. For its fire move, we're using Flamethrower for stab, Fly because we need it, Earthquake for coverage, and Slash because Charizard is semi-fast and it's fun to have critical hits sometimes because crits in Generation 1 are based off of speed. So the moveset is pretty basic, but I think it works well. The Charizard line does well against Erica, Koga, and Blue's Exeggutor. There are also loads of grass Pokemon all over Kanto, especially from the Lasses and Rock Tunnel, so Charmeleon will come in handy at that point inside the game. The 4th Pokemon is probably one of the more annoying ones to attempt to capture, as it can teleport away from you after throwing one ball. That Pokemon is Abra, and though it is annoying to catch, if the player is able to catch it, Abra can evolve into Alakazam and be the most valuable member on the best team for Yellow, if used properly. Abra can be found on Route 5, right above Cerulean City. Once the player has captured Abra, all they have to do is evolve it at level 16 into Kadabra. Once evolved into Kadabra, it can then be automatically evolved into Alakazam. Alakazam, just like Gollum in Generation 1, has the same exact level up set as Kadabra. So as soon as Kadabra hits level 16, it can be evolved. So basically after one badge, you already have a fully evolved Pokemon on your team. And with how high Alakazam's special stat is, this is literally one of the most powerful Pokemon you can have up to this point in the game, and in the whole entire playthrough of Yellow in general. A moveset for Alakazam is a little harder to make considering Generation 1 already offers a lackluster move pool for Pokemon in general, so we have to keep it with what Alakazam has, so the moveset may seem a little bit uncommon. The first move is Psychic for obvious reasons, being Stab. The next one is Recover because Alakazam can be a little frail. And the last one that I could come up with is Double Team, which can be in the Safari Zone. The last move slot I leave up to you guys in the comment section. Come up with something fitting for the last move slot. I couldn't literally think of anything, like all of Alakazam's attacks are physical. Regardless of Alakazam having the type advantage of some of the biggest threats in Kanto, it can practically be used in any kind of battle just because of how high its special stat is. The opponents Alakazam does the best against though are Erica's team, Koga's team, Giovanni's Pokemon, Bruno's fighting Pokemon, and Agatha's team. There's also the fact that Team Rocket has mostly poison Pokemon, so Alakazam demolishes all of them and pretty much all their worth. Shell-shocking into our 5th spot is another one of the Kanto starters being Blastoise. Back when M and J did the best team for Red and Blue, we decided that Blastoise was the best starter, and I think we made the right call. Even in Yellow, Blastoise still exceeds the majority of water Pokemon, just because of how late you get some of them, like Starmie and Lapras. I mean, if you want to wait that late, then go for it. I'm not saying Starmie and Lapras are bad, I'm just saying that I feel Blastoise is better because of earlier availability. Squirtle can be first obtained from the supposed Officer Jenny in Vermilion City. All you have to do is talk to her after you defeat Lieutenant Surge. She's literally the girl that looks like Officer Jenny to the right side of Lieutenant Surge's gym. Once you obtain Squirtle, just be careful with how you train it and eventually just evolve it into Wartortle and then eventually into Blastoise. I chose Blastoise not only because of in-game availability, but also because of its defenses. I like a team of balance, and so far with our team we have a mixture of both. Blastoise also has a pretty decent move pool, to be honest. I wish TMs had unlimited uses, but because of how scarce the TMs are in Generation 1, most of those TMs have already been used by other team members. So the moves Blastoise has, though, still can be made into a pretty well-rounded moveset. It's got decent stats all around, making it a very well-balanced Pokemon, so any move practically works. Movesets for Blastoise usually come a lot better than this, but because, like I said before, of TM scarcity, there's only so much you can do. Blastoise has Surf, Ice Beam, Toxic, and Double Edge. The moveset is just straight up annoying for your opponent. Well, if you're playing online, possibly with Toxic. Like I said earlier though, due to most TMs being taken away at this point, we have to use what we have left. Surf is primarily for stab, and I prefer accuracy and power points over power. If you want Hydro Pump though, that's all you. It's still a good attack. Ice Beam is for coverage against grass types in case of emergencies, and is pretty much your one-way victory to Chilling Lance's dragons. Toxic is there because stall, and it builds up every single turn, plus it pisses off your opponents, even though I don't think NPCs can get irritated. Double Edge is a last damaging move because it's powerful and strong normal attacks always do wonders to Pokemon. Blastoise and its arsenal moves do well against Blaine, Giovanni, Bruno's rock types, Lance's dragons, and Blue's Ninetales and Sandslash. Coming into the last slot of our party, we have the lazy and big giant Pokemon, Snorlax. Snorlax has been on a lot of my best teams before, and honestly, I have to say he is one of the best normal Pokemon ever. Even back in Generation 1, Snorlax is a real champion, having a versatile move pool and being able to be used in almost any situation. Snorlax is one of the best last slot Pokemon anyone can have on their team. You can practically use it on everyone aside from fighting types. The gym leader I would recommend Snorlax for the most though is Sabrina. Snorlax has high special and can tank Alakazam's psychic attacks decently well and one-hit pretty much everything on her team with that massive attack stat. It's pretty much good game for Alakazam. Being a normal Pokemon too, Snorlax has access to a lot of moves, as I stated earlier, and I think I may have come up with a pretty decent moveset for it. Body Slam, TM29 Psychic, Submission, and Blizzard. Body Slam for stab, Psychic for fighting emergencies, Submission for other normal types, and Blizzard because Blastoise didn't take it, and it could come in handy for Lance and his dragons if Blastoise doesn't make the cut. So yeah, Snorlax is the best filler Pokemon for pretty much any best team, and I'm glad I got to bring it back again for like the 6th time. Well, that pretty much wraps up the best team for Yellow. I think that this team is the best for taking on Yellow and can be helpful for anyone's first time experience with the game or the 600th. Though Red, Blue, and Yellow are in the same region and are practically the same, I find it funny that I was able to construct a team that was pretty different from Red and Blue. I hope you guys enjoyed the best team, as I think it is the last one I will be doing for the channel, unless of course you guys want me to do one for Coliseum or XD. We'll see though. Let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely consider doing one. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch, where I stream a lot of Pokemon content like shiny hunting, showdown battles, and even Pokemon playthroughs, and even Pokemon and Mystery Dungeon and Explorers of Sky speedruns. I'm currently in partnership push for Twitch, so if you guys could come down and support, I would love that a lot. Want to support me further and gain cool perks? Check out my Patreon. Fly Jubilee and Daniel Leone did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrian, and I will see you in the future for some more awesome Pokemon content.